So you relapsed. What do you do right now? It's hard. Maybe you were practicing NoFap for like 1 week and it honestly felt like 1 year. I know that feeling. A lot of people that practice NoFap can tell you that like 7 days, 10 days can honestly feel like you haven't fapped for like a month, 2 months, 6 months. And let's just say you relapse right now. What do? Do you just tell yourself that you're a failure and you just go back to fapping again and again for like the next 5-6 days, eating junk food, getting high, doing all the bad things? Or do you just pick yourself back up and carry over from wherever you left off? That's exactly what you do. I see this. I see this very common, and I've noticed this about myself too in the past. It's like whenever I like quote unquote relapse, I would like torture myself and tell myself that like, oh, I relapse. I suck and I can't do anything with my life. And now I'm gonna go for the next like 3, 4, 5 days just like relapsing. But what's more important than that is honestly like you have to understand that like whenever you relapse, it's part of being a human being and it's part of the journey. I'm not saying you should necessarily go and relapse, but what I'm saying is that you need to understand that like you can't go back to like torturing yourself, talking to yourself negatively, and then fapping again and again and again, and then after like 1 week then you're like, okay, now I'm gonna go back to a streak. This is not necessarily about building a streak. A lot of people think that like it's about going through the first 30 days or 1 week or 6 months or 1,000 days of nofap. This is not about that, guys. This is about like telling yourself that like you want to be better, you'll do everything in your power to do better. And if there's times of weakness and you end up relapsing or you end up breaking your streak, okay, you're just gonna get back up and go. You're not gonna necessarily care about the streak. You're just gonna focus on doing the things that people should be doing when they are on nofap, instead of doing the things that people do when they aren't on nofap. When people aren't on nofap, they're getting high, they're eating junk food, they're watching a bunch of dirty things online, they're wasting money on dumb things, they're not working hard, they're just wasting their time, they're watching TV, playing video games, they're just going after short-term dopamine releases. But you, as somebody who practices nofap, focus on the things that people do when they practice nofap, which is your career, a side business, interesting hobbies such as learning how to speak a new language or learning how to play an instrument or picking up a new skill. Go to Skillshare.com and start learning a new fun skill like photography, videography, coding, anything, right? Anything that can maybe even make you money, or it doesn't even have to make you money. Maybe it's just something that like you want to do for fun. Something that I'm doing right now to like take my mind off of like fapping is that I've always been interested in learning how to drive a manual car. So that's a skill that I'm picking up right now. I'm taking a few driving lessons, and I'm watching like YouTube videos on like shifting and the clutch and how to stall, and that's just something that I'm doing in my life and I've always wanted to learn. So I'm distracting myself by doing this. You have to distract yourself by doing other things that you did that got you like short-term dopamine releases, right? TV, weed, fapping, and junk food eating, and you need to replace it with things that will take more time and effort, but it will give you long-term dopamine, healthy dopamine releases. For example, like I've always wanted to learn how to drive a manual car, and I want to get like really good at it, so I'm learning, and then eventually I want to get my own manual car, and then I want to get so good at it that it becomes second nature for me to how to shift quickly and downshift. Like I'm a big person when it comes to like cars and stuff like that, so that's something that I'm doing, right? Everyone has their thing. Find your thing, focus on the thing. Don't focus on like the relapses. You relapse, forget about it. Let's just move on. Like it happened. I'm not telling you to like necessarily forget that it happened, but just move on. Like, okay, you did it. Ask God for forgiveness, ground yourself, be humble. One of the things I would recommend whenever you relapse, the next day or the next even 3 days if you can, is fast or do like intermittent fasting or something like that. It definitely helps, honestly, keeping your belly less full. I know this might sound weird, but like this is something that like is practiced in my religion as well, which is Islam. Is like when a man is like, you know, single and, you know, he's not married, he doesn't have a partner, it's definitely recommended to practice fasting, or at least at the bare minimum, you know, not eating to the point where you're very full. And what this does is like, it honestly helps you, you know, control yourself down there. I'll be very honest with you, it really does. You don't easily get like turned on or, you know, hard for that sake, because when you're fasting, the thing that you kind of concentrate more on is like looking forward towards breaking your fast at the end of the day, and, you know, cooking a nice healthy meal. And fasting definitely helps control these short-term dopamine releases that we get from like vaping and all those things. So highly recommend that as well. Guys, keep pushing through. You relapse, it's okay, man. Get up and keep going, and do the things that people do when there are no FAP. Do more of those things, and let me know in the comment section down below what is that you're gonna do, and, you know, we'll go from there. Thank you guys so much. Hit the thumbs up, I would much appreciate it. The goal of this channel is to help other people, bring more inspiration. And unlike a lot of other no-fap, you know, YouTube channels, self-improvement, masculinity YouTube channels, the one thing that I want to strive towards different here is that, you know, I want to build this YouTube channel. I want to make it into something that generates money, so that in the long term, I not necessarily can benefit from it personally when it comes to, you know, making money off of YouTube or whatever, but I want to use that money together by you guys liking the videos and watching the videos, subscribing. I want to, you know, create something that will help at least like limit this problem into this generation. You know, it could be like, I know there's a lot of like apps out there that block these websites, but I want to like figure out a better long-term solution to help, you know, even just like some of the people that are struggling with these addictions, you know, something better. Like the thing is like XXX blockers don't really help that much in my opinion, but like I want to figure out like a better solution. Like we need to do something, honestly. We as men, for the future of generations, need to do something where like these dirty websites don't just take over, you know, people, right? And these dirty websites don't just make it so that like it's easy for the future generations, because it's only gonna keep on getting worse. I'll be honest with you guys. I believe this industry of the adult industry is only gonna keep on getting worse and worse, and more people are gonna fall into it. And, you know, if we don't do something about it so that we can save the future of men, it's gonna be very bad. So anyways, you know, we'll keep striving for greatness, and on that note, I'll catch you guys on the next video.